As promised, I'm going to do a small tutorial video on the In the News assignment. I think by now you probably could figure it out by yourself, but just to make sure. When you go into the presentations, you will see the In the News. Do not be thrown by SPH 11. That is an old copyright term I still love to do because this assignment came from one of my colleagues, Margaret Reicherbusch, back in 1978, and it still applies today. I've updated it a little bit, but the idea is that your first presentation is going to be public information. The words you use, the topic you pick, is really for you to have a platform to practice your delivery skills. So find a news story, article, podcast, broadcast, anything relatable, anything that you care about. It could be about music, it could be about health, it could be about politics, it could be about some kind of hobby you're on, or sports, or the environment. There's so many topics out there. And find a topic that you would normally speak about, something you would share with a friend. If you're involved with the NFL, speak about something you just heard. Recently this morning, I saw a little article about Antonio Brown. I think that's very interesting. You could do something like that, but it has to ring true for you. You will connect to your audience by your voice, by your sincerity, by your energy. And we, as a class, we're eclectic. We will listen to anything that is genuinely presented. So you go to this handout and it says a news item or story that is of interest to you. Absolutely. Credible news source. Now we're getting into something very familiar to you, just like when you wrote essays for written communication, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Every speech has that. That is the basic structure, how you organize a presentation. Your introduction. Well, you're going to greet your audience in any way you feel comfortable. Say your name, say hello, refer to the day. However you want to start your presentation, this is what you're practicing. Then you go into the body, which is a paraphrasing, meaning you're not reading an article or verbatim reporting back on a podcast or a broadcast that you heard. You are retelling the story in your own words, as if you were speaking to a friend. And then your conclusion, you're going to sum up your story and then tell us your opinion, why you selected this. Now, 2 to 5 minutes is the boundary. You need to stay within that the best you can, because that shows how your brain can have an economy of words to get to your point. Doing a 15-minute in the news is not the assignment. I taught English for 19 years, writing courses, and when I would ask for a 2-page paper and someone proudly would give me a 5-page paper, I would say, take it back, rewrite it. That is not the assignment. So it's important that you adhere to that guideline the best you can. But we're practicing, right? And you might find that your introduction here is going to be 30 seconds or less, and then the body might be a couple of minutes, and then your conclusion in this particular speech might be a little bit longer, because usually an introduction and a conclusion balance it out. They're usually about the same length. And it's not easy for you to know this because it's not like a written essay where you can read and point and count the number of words or paragraphs. But in this presentation, you might find your conclusion, being your opinion, being a little longer than the rest of the speech because you have so much to say. When you're all done, you look at your audience and you say, thank you. Any questions? That's our clue. That's our cue. It's not a clue. It's a cue that you are completed and you have finished and a well-balanced presentation. Use notes from index cards to pieces of paper. Don't overdo your notes. I never would do that. Find notes that work for you. If you do it in a manuscript form, really work hard and not reading every word. I like what we call expository note-taking, which is speaking from notes or an outline. Time limit 2 to 5, volume up, show an interest in your audience, in your subject, eye contact up, try. This is all about trying. And this is your baseline. So that is the In the News presentation. I cannot wait to see the variety of stories that comes through in this class.